Can you please look up this site?
See if we can figure out something.
Now recalling case number 16C2271, were the parties able to reach any sort of agreement in the breakout room?
We were not.
Okay. So the court is ready to make a ruling on this motion to amend the installment payments. At this time, based on the information that was provided when the motion was filed, the circumstances do not appear to have changed enough to merit amending this order at this time. So the motion is being denied.
So now what?
The motion is denied. The hearing is concluded. So that means that the former order that was entered into previously is still in place.
So what, $75 every 2 weeks?
It was to start to $100.
I can't. I just
bi-weekly.
told him I cannot. He said he can do the 75. I cannot afford. I barely can afford the 150 a month. I'm not even getting 40 hours a week at work.
Okay. So at this time, unless you're saying, Attorney Schisler, did you agree to the $75 every 2 weeks?
No, I mean, I told her that, if she was willing to withdraw her motion, we could discuss agreeing at $75 per week. And I'm fine if the court wants to amend it to stay at $75. I just would express my concern that she's already behind on the payment arrangement, and just encourage the defendant to continue making those payments so that we don't have to file a set aside. But that's up to the court. I mean, I'm okay with agreeing to a $75 order if she will agree to it.
So, Ms. Jones.
Yeah.
Is that something that you're willing to do?
Yeah. At this point, shit, just ain't gonna have no money. I gotta try to find bankruptcy.
So, what the court will do then
Mhm.
be the $75 every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The writ for periodic payment is still suspended. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Give me just a moment.
Okay.
Now calling case number 24C1555. This is Mary Agox? Sorry.
Marie.
Marie. Okay. Versus Stephanie Meacham. Can I have names for the record starting with the plaintiffs, please? That would be Marie.
Marie Agas.
Okay. And sir?
Maxwell Van D. Kirkhoff.
Okay. Thank you. And Ms. Meacham? Is not connected to audio. Just a moment, please.
I think it's working now. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Sorry about that. My audio was not working.
Okay. Can you state your name for the record, please?
Stephanie Meacham.
Okay. So today is the date and time set for a small claims hearing in this matter. Actually, what I should say is this hearing was set for 2:30 in the afternoon. It is now 2:50. So, in any case, what I to do first is inform all of you that you do still have the right to request that this be removed to the general civil docket of the court, because otherwise, with it being a small claims case, you are waiving the right to an attorney. You are waiving the right to a trial by jury. Generally speaking, you'd be waiving the right to an appeal. However, because I am the magistrate, Whichever party wants to can appeal my decision to the district court judge here within 7 days of today. So, if you do not wish to waive those rights, then now would be the time to say that you want this removed to the general civil docket. So, do you all understand that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Meekum?
I said yes.
Okay. Do any of you want to remove this to the general civil docket?
No.
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 Okay. Then in that case, what I am going to do is swear in both sides, take testimony, and make a decision. As I said, within 7 days of receiving my decision, then you will be able to appeal if you want to appeal. So, any testimony, evidence, anything that you're going to present, you should have with you today so that we can move forward. So, first things first, everybody raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Plaintiffs?
Yes.
Yes.
And Ms. Meekum?
I said yes.
Okay, thank you. So, as stated, what we have here is a small claims case that was filed by Marie Agax.
Yeah.
Thank you. Against Ms. Meacham. What I am going to have you do, because you are the plaintiffs, you will testify first. You will present any testimony, evidence, witnesses, anything that you want to present. While it is your turn, Ms. Meekum, you are not to interrupt them. Once you are finished presenting your side of things, then Ms. Meekum, it will be your turn to present your testimony, evidence, anything that you want to present. They are not to interrupt you. After I've heard everything, I may have questions here and there and afterwards, okay? And then I will be making a decision.
Okay.
Okay, so any questions?
No
No.
questions from us.
Okay. Okay, then to the plaintiffs, if you want to get started, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So we got married and went on a honeymoon in April. We hired Stephanie in December to be our dog/house sitter. I mean, we were really expecting her to watch the house, but we were expecting her to stay here with the dog. So we hired her in December for 10 days in April. In April, it was April 21st to May 1st were the exact days. So we left on April 20th. And then we got back on May 1st while we were on our honeymoon, elopement, whatever combined. She was supposed to be watching our dog. We realized on the Friday after, so I believe it was April 25th, we realized that she hadn't been to our house in quite a long time. We have a garage door that is like technology,
It's a smart
garage door, so it tells us when it's been opened. But we weren't really trying to we were trying to be on our honeymoon. So I realized at I think almost 11 p.m. on Friday evening that our garage hadn't been opened or closed since earlier that morning. And we do have a Ring doorbell, so we looked through that and she hadn't entered our house with the Ring doorbell. So then we were like, well, no one's been at our house with our dog for 18 hours at this point. Unfortunately, it was 3 a.m. in Michigan time, so we could not get anyone to go to our house until Saturday morning at, I think, around 8 a.m. We were able to get a hold of Max's brother. He went to our house. He banged on the door. No one answered. We have codes to get in, so he used our codes to get in the house. No one was in our house. The dog was not in a crate. There was dog poop all over the downstairs. The dog was locked upstairs, so that dog poop was not from when she was left for it was over 20 hours at that point. And then upstairs was a mess as well. Someone had made something, and I'm assuming Stephanie, because that's all who we knew was in our house, had made some berry concoction in our blender, and just I don't know if she didn't put the lid on, but that was all over the counter. There was stuff all over our floor upstairs. There was a stain on the couch. There was something a cup spilled over on the couch. Just general, not any caretaking of the dog or the house. So then he did find her belongings, including her driver's license. So then we were concerned that something happened to her. He called the police, I believe, because we were in Arizona. And so the police, I guess, did a wellness check on her based on the address on her driver's license, and she wasn't at home. And then they came over to our house to talk to Max's brother. This was like 11 a.m. On Saturday morning, and she had left, according to the garage door, at like 9 a.m. on Friday morning. So it had been over 26 hours since she had been at our house with our dog. And so then as the brother was talking to the police, she came in a different car, I'm not sure. And basically Max's brother told her she was fired. She would not be watching our dog for the duration of the time because she wasn't watching our dog for the time that she was already in our house. And so then when we got back, we did text her. She, I guess, had ordered a bunch of groceries to our house, so she wanted to pick those up. She picked those up when Max's brother was here. We texted her the next day to please not show up at our house anymore or have any other contact with us. She did text us and say that she had some sort of medical episode, which was why she couldn't watch our dog. We did call other people to try and watch our dog, and in looking for another sitter, did find out she was actually walking someone else's dog during the time that she claims to have this medical episode. So that was pretty disappointing. We also did leave her 4 local numbers to call if she needed assistance, and we were responsive. We were able to respond to any messages she sent us. So very disappointing that she couldn't have reached out and let us find someone to actually watch our dog, since she was clearly not doing that. And then once we got back, we hired a carpet cleaner to clean our carpet, the couch. We're also missing a speaker. I guess I don't have proof that she took it, other than it was here when we left and it was not here when we got back. And then we did have, I went through we have cameras in our backyard, and I went through all of the footage from the time that we were gone and aligned it with our Ring doorbell camera and our garage door to see when our dog was being let out. And I made a log of that, and our dog was not even being let outside for 10 minutes every day, which is just really sad. I could have just had our neighbor come over and let the dog out and feed her and give her water, and she would have been much better taken care of than what we had hired Stephanie to do. So we just want to be compensated for the money that we spent to clean our carpets and our couch. And
that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, we obviously know that the speaker is a civil or not a civil matter. It's something that's what we were told. So it's all we're trying to get out. I mean, we've already had the whole honeymoon was ruined from the middle of it. It just was a lot of stress that we didn't really need. But so that's basically it. We hired her to do a job. She didn't do the job. Total that she let her out was about 30 minutes.
The whole
5 days. And the amount of just
Stress,
dog poop downstairs was just a lot. And up here, she got it. She left her medication out. She left everything out that the dog could get into that's really bad. The dog got into trash. There's just diarrhea up here from her eating something. It just, luckily she is okay, but we are very lucky because we have 2 other dogs that we actually had someone else watch, and we had food delivered, and she literally could have gotten into the whole 20-pound bag of food that we had. It's just a lot of things that could have gone worse. So we're happy our dog's okay, but we're just trying to move past and be compensated for the carpet cleaning, because that was just an unnecessary thing that we had to pay for when we got back.
I also will say that out of our 3 dogs, we hired her specifically to watch this one because we hired her to get extra attention from someone to be with her during the day, to not only do the bare minimum of let her outside, but to actually play with her and give her attention. And
even if she was gone for 8 hours, 9 hours a day, we knew she could work. That's fine. But she just wasn't here. The amount of time that she actually did anything with the dog that we can see letting her outside. Clearly the dog wasn't walking around downstairs, around the dog poop. And then up here, it just wasn't, there's no care for the dog. So, we just, can't justify. We said $60 a day is what we were going to pay her, and
that was the
looking
number she gave us.
Yeah, and we were looking through just like, could we even count one of the days that she took care of her? And honestly, I mean, maybe one of the days she let her out for 10 minutes, and that was the most.
Did you pay in advance?
No.
And I did note that there were a number of pictures that were submitted. Did you submit those to Ms. Meekum as well?
We did.
We submitted them through the court. So as far as I know, she should have been given a copy. What I was told is that she would be given a copy of all of the supplementing documents that I attached to.
Yeah, we ended up having to get someone to serve her with the documents. So we have that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Give me just a moment. Okay. Really quickly, you said you had to have the documentation served. Was there a receipt from the process server? Because there is not one in the file.
I did not get one. No.
He just said that it was delivered. He called us.
No.
Didn't he?
I don't know. I don't think he did call us. I think that we got assigned mediation and she showed up to that. And so I had just assumed that there's no way she would have known what date and stuff to do if she hadn't have received anything. So maybe
you didn't pay for the service.
I gave him my credit card number, but I guess I didn't check to make sure that I got charged.
Right.
She said she received it in the chat, it says.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Then anything else?
I don't think so.
No. We did see that
we saw that there was a male in our backyard that we didn't authorize to be there, but I really just care about the dog. I don't think that she took care of our dog. I obviously don't want people in here that I don't know that we didn't trust, but at that point I don't trust her anymore. So I can't, whatever. That's kind of whatever. We just.
So nothing else.
Yeah. Nothing else.
Thank you. If you can go back on mute for now, please. Okay. Ms. Meekum, it's your turn.
Okay, great. Hi, everybody. So actually, Andre, my support person, is here. Hello. He was actually the one that you saw on the cameras. And I do apologize. I thought that I have since gotten Andre added to my Rover profile so that we can do joint sits together. And I think for some reason, I thought that I had cleared it with you. So to clarify, I had pet sat for Tempe once before through an app called Rover. This time we did not use the app Rover. And so that's, I think, maybe where part of the confusion lied, was that I didn't remember that I forgot to get permission for you or for Andre to be there. And so I do apologize for that. And I guess something that I wanted to mention is that, so first of all, from the first day of the sit, the dog was very different, was acting very different than the previous time that I had sat for her. To the point where so I remember at some point during their little testimony, Marie and Maxie said that she was trapped upstairs. The baby gate was trapped upstairs. But actually, so every single time that I would leave the house, I would lock the gate and leave her downstairs. And Tempe would jump over the gate. So every time I would come back, she would be upstairs, even if I had locked her downstairs. She would jump over the baby gate. And she was actually the one that was knocking everything about and making a mess everywhere, because when I wasn't home or when I wasn't there, she was supposed to be in the basement, and I thought that she would be until I realized that she could jump over the gate. And that's when a lot of the problems started arising. I even I don't know if it was separation anxiety or what, but every time I would try to take her outside, she would just bolt right back in. She wouldn't want to do anything. She would bolt right back in, but then pee immediately, inside. So I would try to let her outside. She would bolt out, bolt back in, come inside, and then immediately pee. And I was okay, or immediately go to the bathroom, immediately poop. And so that was I didn't really know how to deal with that, because I'm okay, I'm opening up the door for her, letting her outside. She's bolting in and out. So she doesn't even really want to be outside, and then just pooping inside. And it got so overwhelming to me that I was just I'm just going to clean this up at the end of each day, or something, so that I don't have to keep on cleaning all this poop up all the time. And so that's why when they came home, there was poop that was from probably at least two separate occurrences of pooping in the house. And I had even cleaned up some more that then they hadn't seen. And so I guess what I'm saying is that I was trying really hard to be with this dog that like I didn't really know how to fully like how to control or wrangle a little bit. And so I was worried about that. And I did have a medical issue, which was explained the last day, the day that they thought I had maybe something had happened to me because my wallet was in their home still. That day, I believe I had not been there for 13 hours, which I agree is too long for a dog to be left alone. I had just started a new medication, and I don't really want to necessarily go into my like health history, but I was on a new medication, and I also had a episode that ended up forcing me to take 2.5 months of FMLA leave of my work. And so I agree that like leaving the dog alone for 13 hours is like not acceptable. And I do apologize for that. It was really unfortunate timing. I will also let you know that like on Rover, basically like if you have recurring walks, you can have a bunch of walks scheduled, but unless you do like a Rover card for them, like a report card thing, you don't actually get paid for those services. So like, I'm curious if Marie maybe thought that I was like walking someone else's dog because of that. I'm not really sure what the issue was about that, or like how you could see like what I was doing based on my Rover profile. I'm not sure if that's possible. And so overall, I guess I would say the reason why I'm upset is because for cleaning the carpets, I would have happily had paid to have them cleaned. But you guys knew that I had pet care insurance that would cover it, and you like didn't like ask me to do that. And then you didn't.
Okay, you're not addressing
Oh.
them, you're addressing the court.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I was supposed to well, all I could have done is file a claim and have them cover that. But even if they didn't cover it, for some reason, I've had them cover property damage before and they've been fine. If they hadn't done that, I really wish I would have been able to like get quotes or from different places. And like actually trying to like figure out a solution for cleaning the carpets that doesn't involve just like a random bill. I would have liked to be part of the process of choosing like, okay, which ones are reasonable? Like, is this even necessary to get the stains out? Because I have like really strong enzyme cleaner that like I can really get a lot of things out of carpets with. Do you have anything to add?
That's
Well, he's not part of the case and hasn't put an appearance on, so no.
Okay.
Unless you want him to put an appearance on and he's testifying as a witness.
I don't really know if that's necessary. I think it's fine. I guess one more thing that I will add is that for the speaker, I genuinely didn't even know that you guys had it, didn't see it, didn't touch it. But I will say that like when my belongings were given to me by your brother, he was the one who had packed them. So like anything that I took from the house was packed by your brother. So like I was a little bit thrown off guard that like there was an allegation of thievery when I wasn't the one who packed up my belongings and took them with me. So there's that. Yeah, I don't know. All I know is that my insurance covers this, and we had the opportunity to file a claim, but didn't for some reason. And I wish that had happened.
Okay, Ms. Meekum, was there anything else that you wanted to add?
Yes, I guess there is. Throughout the stay, the Wi-Fi went down like several times. I think it was like 3 times that it went down. And so we had to reset the router. And so I'm also curious because in my breakdown of events, it was like a 13-hour gap between when I like left and then had that medical incident and came back. And so I'm curious because I know that Marie was stating 18 hours or something like that. And I'm wondering if the connection went down or something because the Wi-Fi was super unstable for us the whole time. And so not to say that 13 hours is acceptable by any means, but I don't think it was 18 hours.
Okay. Did you said you received the pictures that were submitted as part of the complaint?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Can I add one last comment? Okay. Yeah, I guess the other issue is that, like, so besides just not wanting to pay for the carpet cleaning, because I could have had that covered by insurance, I was also frustrated by their inability to pay for even a reduced rate. I would have been happy to give a reduced rate based on all the communication issues and like issues that were happening. I would have gladly reduced my rate, but they didn't pay at all. So not only did I waste like 6 days of time caring for Tempe, but now I'll have to like not only not make money from that, but then also get $600 in the hole is really like almost $1,200, because that's like the amount lost plus the amount that I'd have to take out. So
do you have any explanation for the blender?
oh yeah, the blender was just me making a smoothie, and it had exploded. Like I had put the lid on, but like the lid for some reason came out and exploded, and I hadn't had a chance to clean it up yet. But that was the other issue, is that like usually like when I am house sitting, I'm assuming, okay, no one is gonna be like here, so as long as I like clean it up by the time that the sitting is over, then everything is fine. And so I thought that like, okay, I can leave and come back and clean it up later tonight. And then that was when the medical issue occurred. And so then I wasn't able to actually come back right away and clean it.
Give me a moment, please. Okay. So the court is prepared to make a ruling on this. And at this time, the court is going to find for the plaintiff against the defendant in the amount of $673. That would be $611 for the carpet cleaning and $62 for the costs that were incurred with filing the case. And the court is making this ruling based on both the testimony and the evidence presented, specifically the pictures that were provided. It does appear that a contract was entered into as far as taking care of the dog for the time period. And extenuating circumstances aside, it is the court's opinion that this wasn't handled properly on the part of the defendant. And the lack of communication, fortunately, didn't result in anything worse than a carpet cleaning bill. So, you will get a copy of the judgment in the mail. Again, you can appeal the court's decision within the next 7 days, and it will be heard again by the judge if you wish to do that.